Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Aaron and I am a third year kinesiology student at the University of Alberta here in Canada. Today I'm going to be going through my top tips for online learning and showing you how to successfully navigate this new online platform. Timestamps are below. Let's get started. Now, the very first thing I would recommend is to leave your phone outside of your room. Now, I'm probably not the only one who has recommended this to you, as it's quite common, but it's common for a reason. And you're already distracted enough. You're on your computer, you've got any tab you can open. Leave your phone outside. Don't get distracted by the text messages and such. It's a good step to just getting your mind set, focused, and actually wanting to pay attention to class. The second thing I would recommend is to set yourself up for success. Look, being in your bedroom or whatever room you are, probably all by yourself, there's no accountability at all. You can sit there in your PJs and pick your nose and watch YouTube videos and be in class. I know it's hard, but finding a routine that's similar to as if you actually were going to school can really help. For me, this means at least getting up, having a shower, putting on some decent clothes, and having a bowl of cereal and showing up on time. Another thing that you can do that really helps is to turn on your camera. Turning on your camera does two things. First, you realize that people can see you, and as a result, you're more likely to pay attention and not goof off so much. The second thing it does is that it allows the professor to see you. And if you're in classes like mine, almost no one has their camera on. So getting at least a little bit of face-to-face interaction with the professor can allow them to recognize who you are and maybe like you or be more beneficial to you when marking their grades. It can never hurt to have the professor know your face. Having your camera on also kind of forces you with the first part of getting up and making yourself at least look decent. Thirdly, I would recommend getting outside. This means going for some exercise or some gardening or just a walk or anything that you can to get out of your bedroom, get out of your house, and just breathe in some fresh air. It's really nice and really invigorating when you've been stuck in your house all day. Now, this isn't really a huge tip to actually help you with classes, but it's more of just an overall well-being. I find that getting outside, I'm able to focus more and do better with my studying. My fourth tip, and probably my top tip for online learning, would be to organize your notes well. Look, if you're like me, you probably have at least a few classes where your exams are open book because the professors have no way to moderate who's going to be cheating and who's not, so they just let you have access to your notes. This means that probably the person who's going to perform better is the person who's going to have more organized notes. If you can access your notes well, it's really just a game changer. Recently, I discovered Notion, which this is definitely not sponsored, but it has been just a game changer in my studying ability with all its fancy little toggles and things like that. So if you can find some sort of software or program or even handwritten and you're able to have them access very quick, you're not scrolling through the lecture slides or scrolling through textbooks or whatever, that can really help you with your exams. My final tip, and fairly obvious tip, but should be said nonetheless, is to remember that you're in school. It can be hard to remember this when you're just stuck at home, you're not around friends, you're not in the classroom. It seems like you can just take time off and not really study or not really do the assignments. Remember that you are in school, you still do have to do the assignments, you still do have to show up to class, and you still are going to get a grade for this class. So that means that you should probably still do those habits that you were doing while you were in actual physical school. That means preparing for exams as if you didn't have the notes right next to you, because probably it's going to be a time crunch and you're not going to have a lot of time to look at your notes, but if you do, they will be well organized. That means using good study habits like active recall and spaced repetition to really just lead you onto performing the best that you possibly can. My bonus tip is to take handwritten notes during class instead of taking everything on your computer. Studies show that those who take handwritten notes compared to those who type them on their laptop have better retention on subsequent tests. So don't rely completely on your computer, have some pen and paper next to you, take those notes, and then you can transfer them to your computer after when you are preparing your notes for your exam. Well, there you have it. Those are my top tips for powering through this new online learning environment that we are all still navigating. I hope you find it helpful. I will see you next time.